Clear conscience. My personal path to vegetarianism. Even someone like Johnny Depp is enlightened enough to say, if you don't like seeing pictures of violence towards animals, you need to help stop the violence, not the pictures. I was raised in a conservative Jewish home. My mother kept the house kosher, which is a set of laws that some of you may know about. Mother used to shop at the kosher butcher. Here's an example of a kosher butcher standing by the meat counter, very proud of his meats. And of course they have kosher beef, kosher poultry, kosher dairy products, and guess what? Even fruits and vegetables. Now, part of the kashrut, which is the set of kosher laws, has to do with treatment of animals, not just don't mix milk and meat, which most people know. The actual treatment, the raising, and even the slaughter of the animal is very highly regulated in the laws of kashrut. And the ritual slaughter itself is known as the shechita, I think. Shechita, is that correct? As far as I know, it's pronounced shechita. And the person who performs it has a name called a shochet. And the method of slaughter is a quick, deep stroke across the throat with a perfectly sharp knife. Causes unconsciousness within 2 seconds and is widely recognized as the most humane method of slaughter possible. It's still slaughter. I don't care how humane it is, it's still slaughter. I used to eat lots of chicken. There are hundreds of chickens that have not been killed in my 4 years of moving towards vegetarianism. Here's an example of a kosher sochet getting ready to slaughter a chicken. Sometimes you see chickens like this in meat markets, especially in Asian markets. Here's a nice looking rosemary chicken, which I would have used to have loved to eat, chicken cutlets. But those chickens all come from pens like this. Eggs. Well, eggs seem really nice and they're a good source of protein. Eggs come from farms like this. We already heard about the smell that Lexi talked about in, what's the country we're in? Nicaragua. She was driving and a horrible smell appeared when they were driving a long distance to her first place of her host's place. It turned out there was a chicken farm. And the car reeked. I was flying once upon a time, flying in a little airplane at 10,000 feet from LA up back to the Bay Area. And somewhere in here, I don't remember where, I'm at 10,000 feet. And I smell this odor of animal waste. I'm at 10,000 feet. What, did I just follow a truck of animals in the sky? It turns out later I went back to find out on the chart what's down there. There's a big, huge ranch, big cattle ranch. And I can smell it at 10,000 feet. Here's a sirloin that you might get from some of that cattle, though. Corned beef, my goodness. So who's Jewish that didn't grow up with corned beef? Beef liver, chopped liver, on and on and on. Well, where does beef come from? There's one of those farms. And sometimes those animals are so neglected, they end up like this. Bacon. Where does bacon come from? Here's a guy who has won awards for being a hog producer. A little bit hard to see in the lighting, I'm sorry, but here he is holding a little baby piglet. The other piglets are in a little bin here with a warming lamp. And here's mom in a cage, unable to turn around, can't look, can't touch her baby, can't do anything. Completely separated. And this guy wins awards for abusing animals like this. I'm sorry. Could you abuse an animal like this? If not, why pay someone to abuse animals like that? Just a question. Empty Cages Worldwide is a Facebook page that I like. You can consider liking it too. Some of you see me repost their stuff on my Facebook page. And you see things like this. Real men are kind to animals. This is something I would have enjoyed eating. Patties of some kind. This could be ground beef. This could have even been pork sausage, because I don't follow kosher even though I was raised that way. But this could have been turkey sausage. And cow's milk. I grew up eating lots of that stuff. Nowadays, what do I eat? It looks the same, tastes darn good, much better for me, and most of all, I have a clear conscience. I'm not hurting anybody or anything by eating this way. There's even a movement in Judaism towards vegetarianism because it probably, or the thought is that it is a higher form of eating than Judaism in general. We're taught to be kind to all living things. How about turkey? Thanksgiving has already come and went, but it'll be back. And there's a nice looking cooked turkey that I would have eaten half of gladly. Well, that's when I thought I needed all that protein. And it turns out that I found a document called The Protein Myth. This comes from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, pcrm.org. And then I discovered the Northwest Veg Organization. Each of you have a little flyer from Northwest Veg. It shows their upcoming schedule. If you want to just come to a potluck, they don't care if you're a carnivore, omnivore, vegivore, or anything like that. You just show up and enjoy the potluck, and you will, there's me being a strawberry, and you'll meet people like this. And at my very first Northwest Veg event, I listened to a speaker named Robert Cheek, because I thought I needed all that protein. I thought I needed half a chicken to replenish myself after a big spin class. How much muscle does that guy have? That guy has arms like I have legs. He's been vegan since 1995. And he put on all this weight from 120 to 195 as muscle being vegan. Don't you dare tell me we have to kill animals to get enough protein. Not only that, what a waste. Here's the amount of protein in grams for a 6-ounce portion of all these different animal meats. Guess what? We can only absorb 10 to 20 grams at a time. All the rest of that goes to waste. Overloads the liver, overloads the kidneys, and furthers the slaughter of animals. If you want to know about how much protein is in stuff, there's a comparison of steak versus beans. Here's some other folks that I saw at that Northwest Veg meeting recently, Veg Fest. Look at those muscles. These are all vegan bodybuilders. Vegan muscle team. Just a real quick comparison, 400 calories of oil is almost nothing. 400 calories of chicken looks like this. If you're a foodie and you like to eat, eat! Fruits and veggies. It takes a long time to get 400 calories into you, and it's a lot of fun to do all that chewing and eating, and you have a wonderful meal out of it. You know what's happened over the past 30 or so years to our waistlines. There's a movement called Meatless Mondays. A lot of famous people have signed up for that. You can go to meatlessmonday.com. Even if you just cut out meat once a week, it will make a huge difference. You know, some stats that there's much too many to go through here in the time I have, but just if everyone knocked off one day, millions of animals would be saved each year. Tens of millions, actually. You know, this is the book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. How about humans? Yeah, you got it. Okay, so the Northwest Veg Potluck, this is the kinds of meals that they have for us. You can't walk out of there being hungry. I'm stuffed going out of there, and it's wonderful food, completely vegan. So here's a doctor saying to his patient, you have a condition called good health. Frankly, I'm not sure how to treat it. But then again, why change your diet when you can just keep sending me to the Bahamas twice a year? If we do this to our kids, then they're going to end up weighing 300 pounds like this. And the guy's wearing a shirt that's this small is beautiful. That's a little snide. Those who think they have no time for healthy eating will sooner or later have to find time for illness. That's typical spin class that I mentioned earlier. There's a yummy food that I refuel myself with often at New Seasons after spinning because I don't cook. If you really think you need extra protein, here's some examples of vegan protein. This happens to be pea protein powder. Peas comes from peas. Yes, vegetables have protein. This is hemp protein powder. And this is a bicycle ride. You guys know I'm a bicycle fiend. This Oregon bicycle ride, similar to Cycle Oregon. 7 days on a bike, 500 miles, 20,000 plus feet of climbing. A lot of exercise. Takes a lot of fuel, and guess what? Protein, because I got to keep my legs building and muscle. This is an example of what they feed us. All I got to do is select the stuff that didn't come from an animal, and I get through rides like that, burning 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day, and not eating any animal products. So, if you don't want to deal with diseased meat, this isn't the news. This is today's news. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you don't want to deal with that, just don't eat darn meat. And you don't have to worry about meat recalls. So, Neil Barnard, who's the executive director of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. The government is paying cancer researchers to find out why cancers are increasing. Yet at the same time, they're pumping subsidies into cheese, milk, and meat farming. There's your answer. That's why there's more cancer. If you want to know how that works, watch or read Forks Over Knives. I happen to have a DVD. If any of you want to borrow it, I'd be very happy to lend it to you. There's also a new movie I've seen recently called Speciesism that asks who are we as a species to decide what other species are worth treating the way we do. My suggestion is to think about it. If you want to have a clear conscience like me, I invite you to give it some thought. Thank you.